Flying Walendas, one of the greatest families that walked the tight wire in the history of Ringling Brothers, Barnum, and Bailey. In fact, they were world-renowned, and this was their signature act. And as you can tell, it is a pyramid. And I am dutifully impressed, let me tell you. In fact, this family, they worked for the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey. And so night after night, day after day, show after show, country after country, they performed this. It was one of the things that they knew how to do well. As you can see, you've got 4 men on the bottom, 2 people on the middle row, and of course a girl up on top. Actually, it was bigger than that. In fact, the next picture, if you want to show that one, Lance, shows you a little bit bigger how it was when you add a chair and she's standing up itself. They actually put another whole row. This is a 3-row. They actually made a 4th row. They were incredible. They were fearless, they were dauntless, and they were renowned. And so they would cross one side of the arena to the other. Now, they took it to a whole other level, because you can, after a while, learn to walk on a tight wire if you have a balancing pole and you're not afraid of heights. Count me out, I'm done. That wouldn't work for me, but you might could handle that, okay? You might could handle that, but they took it to a whole new level whatsoever. They did it without a net. They were that good. I've seen, literally, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey up close and personal back about, 20 years ago now, in New Orleans, and I had the nosebleed section. I was sitting right there, one thing over, and it's straight down to the bottom of the arena, and one of the tightrope clowns is like right there. He was riding a motorcycle up this weird little thing. I'm like, you realize how high that up it is. It would have been easy to reach out and go, whoopsie, okay, but that would have been bad. Amazing. These people, they train from this from the time that they are little. How bad could it be? Well, one night at Detroit's Cobo Hall, in fact, that may be the picture of the night, the audience was tense with anticipation. They had darkened the arena, and the lights were down very low, if not on at all. And the spotlight shone on the Walenda family. They're known as the Flying Walendas. And they began their slow trek across the arena. And then the unthinkable happened. As they were about 2/3 of the way over, one of the young men, could be any one of these right here, but on the bottom, his knees began to tremble. And he shouted out to him, "I cannot hold on." And he collapsed. And when he did, the whole triangle collapsed. And so very many members of the Walenda family plummeted to the arena below without a net. Several were crippled for life, and one died. Life is like that. It's all about pressure, really. Pressure can weigh you down, and pressure can wear you down. Whether you're children, whether you are teenagers, whether you are adults, pressure can cause you to give out, and under the right set of circumstances, cause you to give up. There are a lot of pressures. School. Obviously, in elementary school, you've got teachers who give you homework and reading, and sometimes projects to work on and tests. In junior high and high school, need I say more? Enough said on that one, probably. Not to mention, if you're making other plans, if you're going to graduate and go on to college, that's a whole nother level of stress. Then there's sports, is there not? I mean, there's the pressure to perform, show up for practice on time. You want to do well for the team. You want to do your personal best. And yes, while it does matter while you play the game, if the other truth, the unspoken truth be told, it is about winning, because if you don't show up to play to win, why do you even bother? What's the point? I mean, come on, seriously. But with that said, there's that pressure. Then there's family, spending time together as a family, family meal night, family get-together night, chores and other things that you have to do that might not be so fun, and making family a priority. That's a pressure. Friends, spending time with your friends, getting your friends to like you. You trying to like your friends. Not as easy in an age of social media. Oh, Lord, I have seen some drama on social media in my time when I was at Benton Academy, but that's a story for another time, okay? Had to tell my class one time as they went at it, too much information, TMI, guys, don't want to hear it, okay? And that was just with them in the class, and it got worse when it got on. Be careful what you put out there, because it stays out there, but that, too, was another story for another time. And then there's work. Some of you work part-time. You may not, as kids, you may not, any of you, guys, any of y'all work full-time? Y'all out working for a living, making a lot of money right now? One, awesome. What do you do? Huh? Awesome. Awesome. I like that. Well, some of you may do some mowing of yards, okay? Back in my day, I got paid a whopping, for 1 yard, I got paid a whole $10. Nowadays, it would be 100 plus, okay, inflation, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? But the point is that, you have work. Some of you work, okay? You may have a boss that's not really understanding. If you work for me, I'm a slave driver. Just crack the whip. No, I am not going to let you off. No, you cannot get a early lunch break. Do that again. When I worked at the nursing home and hospital, there was a time when I had a person working for me, and I'm like, no, that's not going to cut it. He said, oh, show me the tricks of the trade. And I said, first learn the trade before you learn the shortcuts around it. So, yeah, that's a whole different pressure. And if it keeps on going and building, it can weigh and wear you down. So you get like that person. His name was D.D. Walinda, who said, I cannot hold out. I cannot keep going any longer. Well, the Bible says in Matthew chapter 11:28, come to me, all who labor, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I want you to know that that's an invitation. It's a personal invitation. It is from Jesus to you and to you and to us. He is the support that you need. He's unique for your situation right here, right now. And you can find that personal relief, that personal rest that you need right where you are, whether you're young, whether you're old, or whether you are in between. And when you're part of a church family, you also find, and you should find, that same love and care and support from others who love and trust Jesus as well. It's a personal invitation. It is a practical invitation. When Jesus says, come to me, He's saying, come on, come right now. Come just as you are. You don't have to wait till you get right in order to... I'm not talking just for salvation. I'm talking about just simply coming to Jesus when you need that rest. You don't have to wait till the bottom has fallen out and you're about to fall off of that triangle that's on the tight wire. No, you can come right where you are, right as you are, right here, right now. That invitation is open. He's the only support that you need. There's no need to look anywhere else. He's the real deal. You don't have to keep looking anywhere, so act on it. He's the total package. The offer stands. It's good. And therefore, if you give out, He helps you to not give up. You don't get any more practical than that. Here's what the Bible says, guys. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Psalm 55:22. How many of you are good with numbers? Oh, I see one hand. I see another hand. Oh, you should be good with numbers. You should be very good with numbers. I know. I see guys, y'all good with numbers. I'm not so good with numbers, so I'm going to try. So remember these numbers. When it comes to Jesus Christ, these are some numbers that you need to remember. Okay? You ready for it? All right, there may be a quiz later, so are you ready for it? 24/7, 365. That's Jesus for you. 24/7, 365. It's not a phone number, but I mean, if you remember it like that, that's fine. In other words, that is how quickly you can find that rest, that relief, that help, that support that you need in Jesus Christ. But then there's another point I would share with you as we come to a close. There is in this invitation when He says, come to me, all you who labor, all you who are weighed down. Okay, it is an assurance. It's a valid offer. It says, I will give you rest. It's the rest you need, the relief you need, the support you need when you need it. Freely available, freely accessible. There's nothing, you don't have to jump through hoops to get it. You don't have to earn it. You can't buy it. He just gives it to you, and He gives it to you freely, no strings attached. The Bible says He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. Colossians 1:17. That means He's got you, and He will help you hold it together. Children, young people, adults, it doesn't matter who you are. He will help you hold it together because He's holding you. And it's a vital offer. You need that refreshing. You can only keep going for so long. And He gives you a fresh perspective on life. He gives you a fresh spiritual battery, if you will, so that you can keep going. Kind of like the commercial with the pink Energizer bunny. Going and going and going and going. The Lord helps you to do that. He also promises you rest. You know, each of us, God has plans for us. And so He helps us to follow those plans and to work those plans out. And when we get to the end of plan A, then He has a plan B and a plan C. But between A, B, and C, He gives you those moments of rest so that you're not just going all out all the time and therefore you give out. How many of you ever watched the Indy 500 NASCAR? One or two people? Okay, the car's going round and round and round and round. I've watched it a few times. I enjoy it. All the different cars, the different celebrity drivers that are out there, who's going to win who's got, some people got greater swag than others. Some, like, you don't have any business being on that track. I could drive it better than, and I drive kind of crazy, so I probably could drive it better than, but no, that's just bragging, isn't it? So we won't talk about that. But anyway, then you have some people who they're humble with it, and they get out there and they perform excellent. But here's the thing, you can only go so far until those tires wear out. And you can only go so far until you got to get more gas in that car or your race is going to be over. Now, to be honest, how many of you watch it? You don't have to raise hands, but just think about it. How many of you watch it? You want to see who's going to crash, who's going to hit the wall, who's going to have some type of mashup. If we're honest, probably many a hand would probably go up. That's sad to say, but I mean, that's true. We like the drama sometimes of it. But there's one thing about NASCAR racing and about the Indy 500 that we don't always stop and think about. It's the pit crew. They're the unsung heroes. When you're finding that your tires are getting bad, you come off the racetrack, you go into the pit, you find your crew. It's precision timing. You pull up beside them, zip, zip, zip. They're taking the tires off, putting it back on. And they're also gassing you up and doing so in a quick period of time so they can get you back out onto that race and back into the race. So my friends, that's what Jesus does for you. He gives you the rest, the refresher that you need so that you can get back in the race of life, so that you can finally achieve whatever it is He wants you to achieve. And one day, there is a rest that is coming for the people of God, and that's going to be awesome. So ask Him for that tonight. He's good for it. It's good for you. You find that He provides that. And many times, your church family is like that pit crew that's there for you, to love you, to support you. Young people, children, hear me on this. You are loved. So find in Jesus that rest that you need. And that, my friends, is what I call the rest of the story, so that you don't give out like the Wallendas. May God bless you and keep you. By His grace, go with God.